What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And as you can see, we got my guys here, Kenny and Ira. What's good, boys? How y'all doing?
Doing good, doing blessed.
All right, that's a bet. That's a bet. Now, look, this is called Get a Bucket, right? And normally I do have the Gab trivias on deck. I'm gonna just speed past them. Because I wanted to talk with y'all boys about a couple NBA teams, right? And I'm gonna just do it like this. Let's go ahead and talk about the Atlantic Division real quick. The Boston Celtics. They got KP, they got JT, JB, right? They make some nice little moves. But is there a depth issue with this Celtics team? Ira, I'll start with you.
Um, I mean, not to my knowledge. I feel like they got everything covered. They didn't really have a depth issue last year. They lost because Jalen Brown can't use his left hand. So, I mean, like that doesn't help. And I hear most Celtics fans say he can use his left. He can do it. It's not about him not going left at all, like he was like from the 2020 finals to now, the 2022 finals and now. He couldn't go left at all in that finals, but now he can go left. But he still can't dribble in traffic with his left. So, and me personally, if I got guys like Caleb Martin talking about me like that, like, oh yeah, that was the game plan. Give him the ball, let him go to work. I'm gonna take some offense to that, and I'm definitely gonna come out there and try to get the next person I see 35. That's just me personally. But yeah,
That's
no depth, just Jalen Brown with the left. Got to work on it. Got to.
okay. Okay. Do you share that same sentiment as well, or
I mean, I think the game plan was effective. Jalen Brown was a dog in 2022, though. That I won't lie. I think he outplayed Tatum, but I think for now, who the point guard? You know what I mean? We're
well they
we're
got
we're,
yeah.
we're Schroeder at? He gone. Where Marcus Smart at? He gone. You know what I mean? I think with the offense with the Celtics, where you got bottom five scorers like they do, a couple wings that are dogs. You need somebody who could facilitate the offense for them, get the easy buckets. They got the big man. They got the wings. You know what I mean? Now they got Porzingis too. Like I think at the end of the day, they just need a facilitator to make sure the offense runs smooth, and everything will go from there. And I think, but the other thing is, who's the dog? You know what I mean? That's what Marcus Smart was. He was
Mhm.
the chip. He was the Payless version of Draymond on their team, and now that he's gone, it's gonna be interesting to see what they look like,
That's
Okay.
especially.
that's
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at this team: Derek White, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. Like I said, that bench, that depth unit: Peyton Pritchard, Malcolm Brogdon, Sam Hauser, O'Shea Brissett, and then Robert Williams. Like Malcolm Cool, Rob Stray, a little injury prone. P Rabbit Eye. Like I do have a little question marks around this bench. It is coined by a Celtics fan. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I
the
did not
reason
give
nobody
him.
says that. It's the reason nobody say that.
You
Is
said
he
what?
okay with that?
He's okay with that. Like, I don't know if Peyton is, but I know the Celtics
Okay.
fan is. I know the Celtics fan is. Peyton, if you ain't cool with it again, your own people's called you that. So I don't know what to tell you. But all right, so it sounds like it got a little split decision, at least from y'all on this whole Boston Celtics depth thing. Got a little question marks from Kenny, not
I
so much
mean,
from Ira.
the last thing I'll put on it is I've been saying they need to start. I said they need to start at Malcolm Brogdon last year, but Celtics fans feel otherwise. They feel like we don't need that, but they've always needed a point guard for as long as I've watched them. It's always been the same issues like last year. They didn't have nobody to get Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum easy buckets, so they had to do everything themselves. A lot of turnovers happened. They got clamped up a lot easier. It happened in the finals. It happened again in the Eastern Conference Finals. They start Malcolm Brogdon. Those things won't happen, but they're probably gonna start Derek White. And Malcolm Brogdon not gonna get as much minutes. It's not about who starts, who close, yada yada. I got all that, but rather have Malcolm Brogdon starting from the jump and just that's the point you traded for him for. You traded him to have a starting point guard, not a six man, because that's not what he is.
Okay, I got you. I got you. All right. Well, so moving off then from the Celtics, kind of this team has a point guard issue a little bit. Fellas, we got the 76ers. And then they got James Harden, right? I think it's wise to try and trade James Harden. I understand it. But is it foolish for them, the 76ers, to try and trade Joel Embiid? Kenny, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many franchise players in the league, like really true top 5.
Mhm.
Guys like that MVP candidates. You know what I mean? Like he won the MVP. How you gonna trade the MVP? You know what I mean? How you gonna trade the MVP? Who's the last MVP that got traded the very next season? Tell me that.
Snap.
I think the only thing with them is you got James Harden. He don't know what he want to do. So like, if you gonna get rid of Joel, you got to get rid of the whole team and you got to rebuild. But for now, I think what they got to do is build around Joel, build a team, and get the assets and make them feel motivated and kind of go from there. So
Okay. Ira, what's your thoughts on that? Is it foolish for the 76ers to trade Joel Embiid?
I mean, absolutely. I'm not the hugest fan of Joel Embiid, as you know, but I mean, not as crazy to trade him now. I don't see the purpose, but the window is closing. I will put that on there. The window is closing. Feel like maybe 2, 3 more seasons of this, and if they keep getting bounced out the second round time and time again, then it probably will be time to trade Joel Embiid. I think they're already looking to move in that direction. I heard earlier this year they didn't resign Tyrese Maxey because they wanted to keep open 2 max spots, possibly going into next free agency to possibly bring in some guys to help Joel Embiid. But bottom line for me with the Sixers is James Harden is probably one of the most overrated greats of all time because the brother cannot deliver one good playoff game. Haven't seen it in his entire 13-year career in the league.
You did you miss the 240 burgers that he gave in this past playoffs? I'm just asking.
Anthony
Yeah.
Davis was. I was told Anthony Davis was an anomaly, so I guess James Harden in the playoff games are an anomaly as well. Two
That's
games for a lifetime of sales.
Well, I mean, he's also snapped in some playoffs before, brother. But all right,
Against
I mean,
who? Against who? The first
I
round
mean,
against the lesser teams. I just
he's
want to point
had
that out.
playoff success plenty. Ira,
yeah,
one,
I mean,
one,
he
one,
almost
this
beat the
is called
Warriors with KD. If it wasn't
I
for if it was a Chris Paul ankle away from beating the Warriors with KD.
I
I don't
believe
want
that.
I don't want
I
to get too
believe
far
that.
away from this conversation. We
But
talking
Joel
about Joel
Embiid,
Embiid,
Joel
not
Embiid,
Harden.
I'm sorry, both of them better. I call them the free throw. The free throw brothers got to play better before I get up and believe in them anymore. Because what I saw in this postseason was just a
But see, here,
monstrosity.
okay, so hearing your points, it would make me think that it's not foolish for the 76ers to trade James Harden, especially if you're calling them the free throw.
Oh, we froze Trey. Yeah,
I'm saying based on, yeah, okay. So now we back from the technical difficulties. I hate these routers reset. That was crazy. But now I don't know if it's necessarily foolish to think you trade Joel Embiid, like depending on what you get back. Like
yeah.
I'm thinking Joel Embiid probably has two more seasons at this level. Um and now knowing that I got James Harden, who I don't believe I can get to the championship with that duo anymore, I got a little worrisome. I got a little worries right there. So I don't necessarily believe it's foolish. Would I probably pull the trade right now? I'd have to have a really good trade come my way. So I probably won't do it, but I don't think it's foolish. Again, just gotta get some solid pieces back. Like we saw what Rudy Gobert went for. So I'm assuming something similar plus. But yeah, I can't personally say foolish, brothers. But
That trade broke the market. Now everybody wants 7 first-round picks or stars.
yeah, that one did kind of mess it up a little bit for us. I ain't gonna lie to you. But
6 picks.
speaking of another bad organization, sorry 76ers fans.
Ooh,
But the Knicks, this one's been hurting me and it's really been bothering me for a while. Is Tibbs on the hot seat? Because I don't like him at all. He's not on the hot seat to you. He would be on the hot seat to me, my boy. Ira, why is he not on the hot seat to you?
He's not on the hot seat because the team has gotten better. They've gone deeper. Like the first year he had Julius Randle, they made the first round of playoff. Got bounced, went back. They said we ain't gonna make no adjustments. We just gonna run the same team back. They didn't make the playoff because teams keyed in on Julius, locked
mhm.
Julius up, said make somebody else beat you, and nobody else could beat him. So then they get Jalen Brunson. Now you got somebody that can beat you. Jalen Brunson beat you. Julius Randle beat you. Even though Julius Randle still had a pretty rough playoffs once again. Jalen Brunson was still a force that they couldn't guard both. Like you saw that teams look, they put Bam on Julius, they put the dogs on Julius,
Mhm.
but they didn't really put nobody on Jalen. Like Jimmy didn't guard Jalen for most of the series because of his ankle, of course. But bottom line is, it's two versus one. That's what it is. And Thibodeau has shown that in his ways that he's giving them success, and I don't think the Knicks can find anybody worthwhile replacing him with anyway if they were to go in that direction of firing him.
Interesting. Kenny,
And
how do you feel the same way?
yeah, I mean, if we just look at it, right, like me and my boy, we went to Madison Square Garden this season, no flex, but it was like, who's on the Knicks? They got a bunch of B players. They ain't got no A players. So how you gonna be mad at them? You know what I mean? Like
Well,
outside of being in Madison Square Garden, who are you really paying crazy money to go see? You paying them because they the Knicks. You know what I mean? And so the fact that a couple years ago they got to the second round with Julius Randle
mm,
coming off that contract, that's a win. And then we realized Julius Randle's not a superstar,
mm.
not even necessarily a star. He's just a really good player. You know what I mean? Even off the field or off the field, excuse me, off the court. And Jalen Brunson, like he played better than what we expected to. And you got into the second round, and who did they lose to? They
Right?
lost to the Eastern Conference champions. You know what I mean? So how we gonna fire him off that? It ain't making sense to me. Make sense. Make it make sense to me.
I mean, so like I don't like Tibbs from this standpoint. I understand what y'all saying about, the roster might not be the best in terms of talent wise, but you still have a competent team. And I think Jalen Brunson's a big addition to that squad. And I think that actually helps Tibbs. But realistically, I didn't see Tibbs make enough changes the way I thought you should. You were struggling as a team shooting wise, and you had someone on your bench that could actually shoot the ball and help you out, person, Evan Fournier.
He
Really?
can't
Let's
play
not do that.
defense.
Let,
He
let,
can't
let,
play. He
let's
can't
not
play
act like Evan
defense.
Fournier can't shoot the ball.
He
He
can't
got
play
a good Tracy
defense.
package in
He's a
his
traffic
repertoire. Let's
cone.
not do that.
The brother's a traffic cone on defense. Tom Thibodeau has been consistent over his entire career over one thing. If you can't play defense, you will not touch that floor. I
But
don't care. Okay,
why did
how
he lose? Why did he lose though? Because their
can't
team couldn't shoot that three ball the way they needed to. They couldn't score the
and
way they
then
needed
Evan
to.
Fournier
And
and
you
then
got hold on.
Evan
And you had players like Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose on.
damn.
Oh, see, every time he say something crazy, that's what
That's what
happens.
I be saying, man. Maybe the Wi-Fi trying to tell him something, man. The Wi-Fi trying to tell him
I'm
something.
trying to tell y'all boys, Tibbs is
You
not
fighting
that good
hard,
of a
fight
coach.
back, Trey. Why
And
you
it's
take
to
me
the
out?
point where you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay,
Fight
man.
back.
And it's to the point where I even have a New York fan that's like, like I'm not the biggest on Tibbs too. So like if I say he's on the hot seat, and I understand that this team is competent enough to get to the second round in the playoffs, and with a little bit of tweaks, we might be able to get to the finals. Like we might be able to with the right person. Because you're telling me a star wouldn't want to play with Jalen Brunson, who has shown he can help lead you to at least a conference finals. You got Julius Randle, decent player. If you put him as a third option, you mean tell me that deep New York Knicks team can't get to the chip? Word.
So why would you take Tibbs out then if you're saying they need another player to get to that level?
Because for me, I don't think Tibbs is going to bring the confidence that someone would want to go play with him, respectfully. Like, all right, cool. We had D Rose, who was drafted by the Bulls, played with Tibbs, great. Outside of that, I can't see another like star player wanting to come play with Tibbs. Like, he doesn't draw that appeal to me.
Can I stop you real quick? You do know when D Rose got back with him in Minnesota, he had that 50-point game right after all the ACL and meniscus tears. So that should tell you alone that he inspires confidence in
You
players.
mean the redemption
But,
where he's trying to
but
get back and show himself? Got you.
either way, he inspires confidence in his players. And first off, your first mistake listen to a Knicks fan. What does a Knicks fan know about winning? They haven't never seen winning. They don't even know what it is.
He
They
has.
don't know what it is.
I'm
No, they don't
talking
know
about
what it
the
is.
coach.
They don't know
The
they don't know what it
coach.
takes to winning. They
The
don't know
coach.
anything about winning remotely. So that's step wrong. They just going with the flow at this point. Whatever happens, happens. Um Jalen Brunson came into New York has a backup point guard. They paid a backup point guard $120 million. You know that, right? Like that's what they paid. And you telling me that Tom Thibodeau didn't inspire any confident Jalen Brunson to be like, hey yo, go get 24 a game. You telling me that we all expected Jalen Brunson to go out there and get 24 a game last year. Did not happen. Even with RJ Barrett with his inconsistency.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. What he showed on the on the Mavs, it wasn't
Absolutely not.
it
No way
wasn't
you saw
it was
Jalen
not
Brunson
overly surprising. This man was hooping on that team. Like
24 games.
That was a week, bro. That was like a week of hooping.
Thank you. 24 games.
I'm talking about the whole year. The playoffs just highlighted him. I like Brunson. I like Brunson last year. It wasn't just the playoffs.
But you did not think Brunson was going to get that bag, right?
No, fair. Absolutely.
Why
Not.
wouldn't he get after the playoffs?
Bro, he had one game, and that was in the Jazz game when he had 38. Then Sun series, he
had one game, Ira.
The Jazz series was the Jazz series was the series that got him paid. The Sun series, he was not the force that he was in the Jazz series.
Do you think the Mavs would have let him go if they thought he was going to be this nice?
I think the Mavs are dumb as hell.
There it is, right there. You think Mark Cuban?
I think the Mavs are dumb as hell.
Why would Mark Cuban pay a backup point guard 120 million?
Because he's not a backup point guard.
Where are you gonna start him on the Mavericks? Why? How would he start?
That's the starting position. What are we talking about right now?
How? Luka's the point guard. Where are you gonna put him at the 2 guard?
Is he? That's crazy. So real quick, on the Mavs, why did he start?
He never started for the Mavs. What do you mean?
Jalen Brunson never started for the Mavericks.
Probably a few times.
Okay, hold on. Because see, I love when folks try to say stuff and you can bring up a little evidence. Because I definitely watched this, brother. So you don't have to look at your phone, brother. I'm about to pull up the stats real quick. You see this right here? It says games. 79. 61 games he started. That's a lot of the season there, Ira. But you're acting like he can't start. Also, my fault. How many points did he give that season to? My bad. What was it? So he gave 16, 5. That ain't bad at all. And let's look what he did in playoffs. 22. Like, respectfully, if he did that in the playoffs, like normally when we say if people increase their production from the regular season to the playoffs, you got to give them credit. And that brother definitely did that. So I can't say it's surprising that now he has more green light that he can get 24 a game and be looked at as a leader, because he was also looked at as a leader on that.
You better hope Jalen Brunson come out with the 24 a game again. He come out, he gets 17 a game. You'll take on.
But like, what happens on this season? Yeah, he should be able to get 20 plus in the season. Like, come on now.
All right. I just want to put an FY out there that
I got you.
That part of the reason that he probably got 25 a game is nobody in the NBA knew Jalen Brunson was capable of this. Now that they have a somewhat of an idea that he is, there's going to be a lot more game plan, night-to-night basis on Jalen Brunson for sure. So if he can survive the incoming game plans that he will receive, we'll see how well he fares.
Well, look, I'm so happy that you said that, Ira. I really am, because this next team that I'm about to bring up kind of has a player that I talk highly on, but people say something similar too. Like, now that you got a game plan on him, you didn't expect him to do this much. So we'll see how it shakes as well. But the Brooklyn Nets, they got Mikal Bridges, who I say is going to be all NBA next year. All right. It's fair to say they're the dark horse of the East.
They're not. They're not doing much of. I don't like. Mikal Bridges is great and all, but I just want to put a retrospect out there. When they traded Kyrie and Kevin Durant, they lost a lot of games out there. Mikal Bridges was hooping, but they were losing a lot of games. They lost a lot of games.
You do know that they maintain that playoff.
Maintaining and winning is two different things. They maintained
it with no off season. You have maintained it with no planning.
All right, okay, I got you. Cool. Mikal Bridges might make All NBA with the requirement of playing 65 games and being that he plays all 82. That is more realistic than anything else possibly in this NBA season. That may happen. However, please name me. And they paid Cam Johnson. Hopefully, Cam Johnson elevates his game. But name me what's going on at the point guard spot and out there.
All right. So let me list off the names.
What's going on at the center spot? Nick Claxton is getting 15 a game or something.
Hold on.
Deep bitch.
I'm about to share the tab with you, man.
I can't.
So you got here Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
So you got Ben Simmons. So I ain't gonna hold you now. Ben Simmons makes this Nets team interesting because if he comes back healthy and he returns to form, that list looks vicious. And you got Cam Thomas on the bench too.
He not getting no PT.
He might not, but you got him as a possibility. I also like Lonnie Walker and Dennis Smith Jr. Again, I always say this. And matter of fact, hold on, because I might even have to go on the soapbox real quick. You never want to let go of a person from Fayetteville. That's all I'm saying. You can't, not at all. But I like that team, fellas. I really, truly do. So I mean, I think they're a dark horse in the East. Kenny, what's your stance on the Nets?
Well, I think they're all right. You know what I mean? I think it's like, I guess it's like expectations are everything in life. That's what I always tell people. So it's like when we say dark horse, is that saying we think they could finish top 4? Like I don't think that's possible, right?
I feel like they could possibly get to the. It's on being not championship, but like possibly Western Conference Finals, where it's like, oh, that I didn't peg them to get here, like that year, like the year the Blazers got to the Western Conference Finals. You might not have thought they were going to get there. That's why I think of dark horse.
Okay. Yeah.
God.
I mean, anything. Actually, I mean, if there were 6 last year, even though a lot of that was on the.
Well, they got swept
KD,
though. They
yeah.
got swept. And Joel Embiid was hurt. James Harden still ain't played that good. They got swept.
Again, I said
They played awful, and they got swept. They didn't even score. They scored over 100 one time in that game.
With the return of a Ben Simmons, and if he comes back healthy and motivated, I think that bolsters that team drastically.
I agree, but that's like we got to give up on Ben Simmons. Like Clutch Sports gave up on Ben Simmons. Why are we still giving Ben Simmons a shot? You know what I mean? Rich Paul done gave up on him after everything. So it's like, how's that gonna be the difference?
You praying, Trey? You praying?
Praying.
Ben Simmons, I don't look. I ain't gonna knock when the brother healthy and he play. He can be a force, but these last 2.5 years, I don't know.
Man, the dude they talking about him. All he doing is posting pictures of his house and his jewelry. And it's like, bro, you got to get out there and ball. Like,
and
I've been hearing that he getting in the gym though. So
bro, we saw
are you making threes again on IG?
Nah. I've been hearing that he been working out type stuff. So all I'm gonna say, look, it's the off season. Give the brother a little time. This might be the last chance.
Look, man, every year we see NBA players go out there and play guys like us and be hitting every shot, and then people be like, "Oh snap, he didn't got nice, bro. He not playing on NBA talent out there. He
I don't know.
us.
It didn't sound like he's practicing on his game though. It sounded like he's practicing on his
If
physical.
Ben Simmons can make shots at 24-hour fitness over me, congratulations. He is an elite player.
I don't think that's what the reports were saying. It wasn't a basketball game workout type thing. It's more like working out physically, and that's what he needs to focus on. Make sure he's strong enough on this team. But on this Nets team, he doesn't have to shoot. You got everybody surrounding you can shoot the ball. Everybody.
Didn't they have better shooters with KD,
yes,
Kyrie, Joe? Like, I would rather have those as my shooters, and I'm facilitating.
They had JJ Redick.
I'd rather have that.
So are we talking about the 76ers team that ultimately threw Ben Simmons under the bus? Or are we talking about the Brooklyn Nets team where when you had KD and Kyrie and them, you were injured, and then they were also kind of injured too as well. And there's a whole bunch of mess. It was a whole mess over there.
I'm with Kenny on that.
Bro, when you got your what's your UNC cat's name? I forgot his name.
Chris.
Danny Green. When you got OGs like Danny Green who are respected in the league, and they got no respect for you, I feel like that speaks volumes at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid, but when Danny Green, a champion, 2-time, it's like, bro, it's a problem. You know what I mean? You hear Kyrie, you don't hear KD say anything positive about Ben Simmons. They just leave it alone.
And then Steven Jackson also said on All the Smoke that I think it was Steven Jackson. I don't know. I ain't gonna quote his name and be wrong, but I think he said somebody on the line said that Brett Brown coddled Ben Simmons too much. Like, Brett Brown never forced him to work on his game. Brett Brown let him get by doing whatever he chose to do, and that's how it went. And now that he's being challenged and taxed to actually be a basketball player, not just go out there and do whatever it is he want to do.
Mhm.
It Doc Rivers won't putting up with the BS. Doc Rivers said either you gonna play or you gonna sit out, bro. You pick. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
Okay.
Like
All right.
I go old school. The old school just get tired of you. Then tough. Yeah, your
Okay.
future is grim.
All right. I mean, I'm hearing no love for Ben Simmons. That's cool. That's fine. That's Danny. I still believe.
Love,
Yeah, I still
love
believe
for
the Nets
them.
are the dark horse of the East, but we gotta wait and see. I like to be optimistic, fellas. I like to be
You did
optimistic.
say you was gonna clip this. Make sure you clip that take right there.
I
Nets
got you. I got you. I
go
got
for
you.
the Eastern
I
Conference
got.
Finals.
I got you. I got you. Now, how about here these Raptors? Right. Are we at the point now where we need to trade Siakam and Gary Trent Jr.? Ira saying yes. Kenny, how you feeling?
I
Because
mean,
I mean, right now you might be a star. You might be in the same situation you were when you brought in Kawhi. Like you're just a star away from possibly winning the championship.
Huh?
You have a really good team in place, right? So you got Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl. If you're telling me that's not a strong foundation to bring for a star to come in and work with to win a championship,
what level star? Because I mean, free agency's over. I mean, we gotta look at the trade deadline. Like, what level star are we talking about? Because
well,
they lost Fred, right? Who's not a star, but obviously,
overrated. I think he's overrated. You're not really looking too
yeah.
much.
I mean, yeah, he got he got 40 mil, so he's a player. He's not a star. Like,
I
what
think
what
that's dumbassery of the Rockets, but I hear you though. I do hear you. I do hear you. When I think player, I'm thinking not necessarily all star, slightly a little bit above that. Like, because again, they brought in Kawhi Leonard to win their championship.
But
So,
Kawhi was so good, we forget in that playoff run.
He averaged 30.
Conversation is Kawhi the best player in the NBA?
He averaged
When he
30.
but that's why I
And
say,
they barely won. Barely.
but that's why I say, if you bring in someone around that caliber, maybe even a little lower,
Ooh,
you could possibly win a championship. Like, imagine Dame on this team.
no.
Word? Hold
No.
on. Dame, Gary, Scotty, Pascal, Jakob
No.
Pertl. You're
Not
wilding.
close.
Stop the cap.
Not close.
Stop the cap. They
Not
can
even
battle
close.
with the bigs because
Not
Jakob ain't no
close.
scrub. You
Once
can
you,
go
once you,
mobile if
all
you need to
right.
because Pascal has shown he can run the five. You also
Got it.
got Chris Boucher
I
there.
got it.
And you've
yeah.
seen what Dame has done with Portland, what he
Got
had. Gary Trent, 6'4", he can shoot and defend. Plus, he with my Blue
it.
Devils, so you know he come from good stock. Then on top of that, you got Scotty Barnes, who's like Ira.
Hold
Don't.
up. Hold up. I got him.
You
That's
just
plus
don't believe in
Got
Dame.
him.
That's what you're
I
saying.
got him.
You don't believe in the short guards. I get you. Now
Got
I
him.
understand. I
Got him. I
understand.
got
I
him. I
understand.
got him.
You don't
I
believe in
got
Dame?
him. I got him. You speak highly of Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, Pascal Siakam, tomato, tomato. We not gonna
Whoa, hey, brother, there are levels to this. I like Jeremy Grant. Do not get me wrong. Jeremy's not an all-star. Pascal is.
Okay.
Like, come on
Jeremy
now.
not a winner either. Jeremy got empty buckets. If we being honest, like he got his
It's
buckets
a
in the
little
playoffs.
aggressive.
That too
It's a
much.
little
Okay,
aggressive.
we can't
You
use
lose me a
12. We
little bit
can't
on
use
that
12.
one.
Bottom line is the Raptors plays 12th. 12th. Not 8th, not ninth, 12th.
Because you're replacing their point guard. Fred VanVleet for Dame. You can't tell me they're not going upwards. You cannot tell me they're not going
I
upwards.
can't say they're not going upwards, but I
Oh,
can say
and I
they're
forgot OG
definitely
Anunoby,
I
who
can
didn't
say
even
they're
play that much. What are
they
we
beat
talking
Jim.
about?
They're not beating Boston or Milwaukee with that roster.
They're not.
No.
So
No.
hold on. Just hear me. Y'all just entertain this though. So we got who is it? Derek White versus Dame. Dame. You got Jalen Brown versus, and I say Gary Trent, but Gary might have to be six man now that I think about it, because you got OG Anunoby, who was also in the depoy conversation at one point in time during the season for a long period too. Not to mention. So I think it goes Jalen, but OG ain't no scrub. Then you got here Scotty Barnes versus Jason Tatum, which I don't think Scotty gonna get punked like that. Now it's Jason's for the win, but Scotty ain't no scrub. Now you got Kristaps Porzingis recently versus Pascal Siakam, and if you want to tell me that KP gonna win that one, I can understand. But I personally might lean Pascal Siakam just because of the availability that he has shown, and KP just gave me 68 games one season, and then Pirtle, like Horford, Pirtle's younger, double. Like I'm Horford might have more talent, but it's a wash. Like
You heard it. You heard it here first on the Get a Bucket podcast. If the Raptors get Dame, they're beating the Celtics in a 7-game series. Trey Wilder, host of the Get a Bucket podcast, said that. I did not say that. And I'm on you not gonna like this, which is crazy.
Like, but they're not gonna like your take. They're gonna like mine though. That's all I'm saying.
The Raptors beating the Celtics if they
So do you not? So is it more so you don't believe in Dame or the team? Like,
I
cause
don't believe in the Raptors that much, man. Like, yo, what
okay,
you think Pascal Siakam will come out here and match Dame 25 with his own 25?
he gave you 20.
Efficiently. In the bubble, the last time they were in the playoff, well, no, the year before that, I don't even know what he did. I don't think he played well in the first round.
This past season, he gave 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists on 48% from the field, 32% from the three. The only thing I'll give you is the 3-point, but he's not really a 3-point shooter.
Didn't we just say
48% from the field is pretty good.
Didn't we just say Jeremy Grant's getting empty buckets? How this ain't the same? Because they ain't going nowhere. They were trash.
How is this not the same?
They were trash. The Raptors were trash.
Respectfully, they aren't trash. Like that whole bottom East part, it was a couple games separated. And I don't act like if you actually watch the Raptors, this man actually hooped. Like I'm not
denying that.
I'm not gonna say they got empty. I'm not gonna say they got empty buckets. I even said that to Kenny about Jeremy.
Yeah.
So like that's a little tough. But all right, so we got here. You're saying trade Siakam and Gary Trent. Long story short, Ira. Kenny, do you stand on that or no?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, I think if you bring Dame and if you have, addition by subtraction, obviously Dame's a big addition. Like, I look at like Donovan Mitchell on the Cavs this past season. Like, that's pretty much where I'll put the Raptors if they got the addition of Dame. Like, they're gonna be a great regular season team. They're gonna be entertaining. But when it comes to the playoffs, I don't see them getting over the Sixers. I don't see them getting over the Bucks. And shit, they damn near might not even get over the Heat at the end of the day. So it's the entertainment. They're gonna sell some seats, and that's what it is.
They can't shoot. They ain't got no shooters in Toronto.
Gary Trent, Grady Dick might pan out to be something like.
So you name the
bringing in a shooter. I'm just saying, like you got.
Wait, so the second guy you named is a guy that has not even played in the NBA yet.
I say he might pan out. Was literally the next.
I said the second guy you named has not even played in the NBA yet.
That's why I said might. You got to wait and see. Like I like to bank on a rookie on the optimistic side. I like.
If I got to bank on a rookie player to be my savior, we already down bad.
So are you saying it's impossible for that to happen if they got Dame? They couldn't beat the Celtics?
Nothing's impossible, but that is highly unlikely.
Okay. All right. I got you. I'm tracking. So then, speaking of the Bucks, while we on this here subject, is Giannis an MVP front runner?
Why wouldn't he be?
Well, because you got, I'm sorry, not front runner. Is he the favorite? Should he be the favorite next year?
Why
like he's sole favorite because you got Jokic.
Why wouldn't he be?
You have Jokic. You have Embiid, who just won it. Jason Tatum probably gonna have a nice little something to say. Luka's also out and about. Like it's not like it's just.
I mean, Embiid shouldn't have won it Embiid shouldn't have won it to begin with the first time.
Okay. Why not?
Why not to Embiid?
Yeah.
He wasn't the best player. Jokic played better than him. Point blank, flat out.
They weren't going to give it to Jokic because of his playoffs the last 2 years.
Not even the playoffs. I'm used because it's a regular season award, so I ain't gonna use the postseason.
In that regular season.
But in the but the reason, like, and this was a thing going on last year, like they gave Joel Embiid that award, and I'm not saying he didn't earn it, but they gave it.
That's literally what you say. What do you mean when you say they gave it to him? Like that you're taking away his earnings. You earned that.
No, given to him because it's voted on by the media. But realistically, like Jokic outplayed him, and besides scoring, Jokic outplayed the man. Point blank, obvious. He was
besides scoring, and defense. Jokic outplayed the man.
Embiid, okay, y'all be treating Embiid like he is this all-world defender. He be getting cooked by everybody that come down his lane.
That's crazy. Eventually, you're going to get dunked on, scored on, but I've seen plenty of times,
Giannis and AD had a feel.
especially in
Giannis
that
and AD
Celtics series where he was swatting shots at the rim, blocking people. The Jalen Brown getting blocked. He's like,
Robert Williams, and Al Horford, and he an All NBA defender now. Goodness,
that's crazy. Like, it's not like Jalen Brown ain't all NBA caliber
well,
himself.
Giannis,
Like, he's not all
when
NBA, and he got his shot blocked. Like, he blocks people's shots. He's a rim protector, bro. He's 7'1", like, or 7 foot, like mobile like that.
I'm still on that side. Again, it's a regular season award, but you know, Jokic outplayed him point blank. It was clear as day that he outplayed him. I don't think there's no other questions about that. Like
There
the
are
Sixers,
questions. If someone
the
scores
Sixers were
more
what they
and
were
plays
four.
better defense, you are considered a better player to me. Like, just because he passed the ball, he got more assists. You can talk about the efficiency. It's not like Joel Embiid wasn't efficient himself. So respectfully, you can't keep saying, "Oh, well, he played better" just because he got more assists. He got what? Jokic had 9, 10 assists, and then Embiid had like 4. If you want to bring up the turnovers, cool. But Embiid's game isn't passing; it's scoring the ball, which he led the league in. So if you're bringing the best scorer and from a consistency standpoint too, plus his defensive ability, which is actually better than Jokic. You can talk about how Jokic swipes the ball. That's cute. That's cool. But guards do that shit too. So I'm talking about rim protection, which everybody needs and covets. Joel Embiid does a better job than Jokic. So, and when you talk about defense too, if you want to look at stats in terms of who scores on who, Jokic does get scored on a little bit easier, actually a lot easier than Joel Embiid does. So if I'm talking about from a complete standpoint, when people say complete player, they exclude defense so much. And you can make the argument that Joel Embiid is more complete than Nikola Jokic. Well, the game is played offensive and defensive, right?
No way.
I said you can make a case. Because if your case is the game is offensive and defensive.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
Not even the least bit.
Okay.
Not even the least bit. Not even.
Okay. So then, all right. So getting back on track because we talking about the Bucks. I'm mad, Kenny. You asked him that question. Why? I knew that was gonna go left. But so with Jokic then and Embiid and Jason Tatum and Luka, like I said, I don't know if Giannis should be the front, like the favorite per se. But I mean,
who's the favorites right now?
I actually would say Jokic right now, just because one, he won the championship. A lot of people are talking about how he should have won this past year. So that might discredit Joel Embiid because people are saying, like Ira saying, "Oh, well, he didn't earn it," which I think he did earn it. In fact, I think he should have won it, but that's another discussion for another day. I don't know if Giannis outright wins this. Like, it's not. I would say Jokic right now is the leading candidate for MVP, or Luka, because if he carries his team to the playoffs.
I mean, Giannis will always be an MVP front runner. I mean, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like, if you can give me 3 reasons why he shouldn't be, then I'll rest my case. But he's top 5 player in the NBA. He's probably the best 2-way player in the NBA currently.
Okay. And Kenny, do you agree or disagree?
I mean, front runner is a hard thing to say. I think it's just in general, it's hard to bet against Giannis because he's going to give you, what I mean, what LeBron used to give you 27, 7 and 7, but Giannis going to give you 27, 11, 6. You know what I mean? And his team's going to be top 5 in the Eastern Conference.
Right.
Probably realistically top 3. And so it's like, the thing is, Giannis is just the safest bet. I'll say that. I won't say he's a front runner. He's the safest bet. Based on scenario situations, there's a lot of other people who could take that spot, but he's the safest bet.
That's interesting. Again, I might have said Jokic is the safest bet, but that's okay. I'll take a poll on that one. I'm not mad at the answer because he's in the top 3 typically, right? Yeah. So I get that from a safety standpoint. I get why you say that.
And Giannis is much sexier to watch. You know what I mean? Like, he over here.
Yeah, Jokic game is ugly.
Yeah. Like, people they're begrudgingly like, all right, we'll write his name on the ballot. Giannis, like, he over here dunking on motherfuckers, like blocking shots. You know what I mean? Like, his name is Antetokounmpo. Like,
so it's sexier because it's more dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. He gonna give you
more appealing. Like, Jokic is.
Kids ain't at home on YouTube watching clips of Jokic over here throwing dimes left and right. They're not doing that. You know what I mean? At
That's
the end of
not
the day, who votes for
fair.
MVP? The
That's not
writers.
that's
The
not
writers.
fair. That's
Well,
that's
you can't really bring fair in when he's saying sexy because also sexy is a subjective term too. So I mean, like
the way he's using it is
it's his, but it's his.
it's just pointing to dominance. Like you're just looking for guys to dominate, just to dunk on people and give a little more flash offensively because Nikola Jokic don't go out there and hit a couple
I
20
mean, but
side
people,
steps,
that's
side
happened all the
steps.
time though. But that's happened all the
You
time
know
though.
what
Look
Shaq
at
did?
Kobe and Timmy. Nobody talks about Timmy in the GOAT discussion really, but this man had 5 rings, 1 loss, and had a
Tim
beautiful
Duncan averaged 19 a game compared to Kobe's 25. What do you mean? Jokic averages 23 for his career.
it's not all about points, bro.
It
Like
be it,
you got defense to talk about too. That's another. All I'm saying is people viewed Kobe's game better, or at least his career better, because it was sexier than Tim Duncan's. Like Tim Duncan's called Mr. Fundamental. He don't do nothing special. He hit you with the basic 1-2 finish, got you. Like Kobe does all the extra stuff, so his game was viewed as more appealing.
That's a mighty stretch.
That's a mighty stretch.
Mighty stretch.
I forget because he's young, bro. He ain't really watched Timmy like that.
Youth,
Like, oh
youth has nothing.
my god,
Youth has
Here with the young boy.
youth has nothing to do with the way I'm speaking. Like you keep clamoring on about defense here. Like it'd be different if Kobe Bryant didn't play defense, but Kobe Bryant was a lot of first team all defender, just like Tim Duncan was. Tim
So
Duncan had 15, Kobe has
I
12.
want to make sure I get this straight, Ira. Are you saying that you can't make that? There's no argument for Tim Duncan having a better career than Kobe Bryant? Like I biasly say Kobe, but are you saying there's no?
I don't know how that is the question that we got here. We were talking about their games. I ain't saying nothing about a career, but
Well,
like you're saying,
the game that
I'm
you
going off.
I said the game you watch, like the game is sexier because of his style of play. But like I said, he's disrespected by not being talked about. That's
it's not being disrespected. I mean, like it's not. I don't know. That's sexier. That ain't the right. That ain't that. Just because a brother don't wow you doesn't mean you have to. Doesn't I wouldn't quote unquote say it's sexy. It just doesn't wow. That no. That's yeah. I can watch Tim Duncan and be impressed with Tim Duncan's ability to do a lot of things, but it's certain things certain players do better. I mean, if you want to say that putting the ball in the hoop is more appealing than to the eye, then that's different. But Jokic puts the ball in the hoop just as much as Giannis and Joel Embiid.
but we're talking about they're talking about the way we're talking about the way they do it. Like Giannis's Euro looks better than
Jokic shot
Jokic's
40%.
throw the ball up. Like they both work. They're both dominant. It's just
Jokic
from a
shot
stylistic
40% from
perspective, from
three
the
and
eye,
50.
like which one's more appealing. That's all.
Jokic shot 53% from the field and 40% from three in these playoffs. I think it's
It's not from stats,
sexy enough.
brother. It's from the eye. Like stop look get off get off the computer and look at the game.
I look at the game. You can't tell me that footwork and them post spins and what he was doing in the post is not appealing.
Are you always is the casual fan looking at people's footwork, or are they looking at the moves they do?
I mean,
Like, come on now, from like a general
a
consensus.
post spin, a Euro. I mean,
How about this? I'll make it a poll. Whose game is sexier, Jokic or Giannis? And let's see what shakes. Let's see what shakes. I feel let's see what shakes. But I'm actually kind of curious though about y'all thoughts about this next person on this next team. Talking about the Bulls, I had a little optimism about him. He can he can jump in the air like MJ. Is Zach LaVine all NBA? Like, can we, is he an all NBA player, man? Like, Kenny, I saw you have a little disgruntled face over there, so I'll let you go first.
I mean, again, Zach LaVine's another bucket getter, but what makes him all NBA? You know, I mean, he's an all NBA talent, but he's not an all NBA player. You know what I mean? He could jump out the gym, he could shoot the three. You know what I mean? He could drive. I think, even to a man, I think his teammates probably like him, but in terms of what he's done in the league, he hasn't even won, and even when he got close to winning, he couldn't stay healthy. So,
I mean,
you can't be an all.
Zach LaVine making all NBA is the same way Mikal Bridges gonna make all NBA because they.
Hey, you're disrespectful. Because Mikal one actually tries a little harder. Like he got that passion. See, Zach has more natural ability than Mikal Bridges.
Mikal scored like 20. Mikael scored what 23, Zach scored 22. All right, I think they meet each other in the scoring
But no,
department.
you
Defensively, Mikael washes Zach on any facet, but I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say Mikal Bridges and Zach LaVine are like if the 65 game rule was not in, then but the 65 why I'm telling y'all, man, this 65 game rule, we gonna get some very shocking names on this next all immediate team. Some very shocking names.
I
I
I
just
would
think
put I
yeah,
would put Mikhail and Zach in the same level just
They
from
are in the
no,
same.
no, hold on. If you want to say, oh, he scored 22 and he scored 23, I hear that. But also, like respectfully, Zach's been an all-star before. Mikhail has not. Um, Zach, I think Zach has been all NBA. I gotta double check that. But like
No,
he's been close. He's been close. And it made me feel like sometimes he was inching towards that. He's still in his prime. It's just I know he has so much more talent.
he
And
got 3 more years on him too. He got a
you
lot
know
more.
what?
I said Zach got a lot more. Am I wrong? Mikal played what 3-4 years, and Zach
You
was
might you might be you might be wrong because I think too Mikhail went to college a little longer than Zach.
yeah,
Zach's 28. Actually, hold on. 26, turning 27. So yeah, so they're about the same age.
yeah,
About a
but he
year
got,
old.
he,
I
he got at
mean,
least like 3 years on him in the league though.
You said what? In the you mean league years?
Yeah,
I just
When they
don't.
come in 2019 for Zach for him. 2000. Yeah, he came in about 4 years.
yeah.
I
But he's
mean,
also still older as well too. Like when you're younger, you're stupid. You might not be practicing your game. Like I just look at Zach as not a letdown or disappointment might be too
I
strong.
don't know. I just don't know where you thought that Zach LaVine's ever been a top 15 player in the NBA at any point in his career.
I said he was inching towards it. When I said he wasn't, I took it back. When I said he made me feel like he was inching towards.
We did the inaugural NBA top 50. I don't think that brother cracked 30.
I think he did. I said C. I said C. I think for your list because again, Zach has ability where he could be a top 15 player. He's just not, and I don't know whether lack of effort on his part or passion or I don't
Consistency.
know.
The brother disappears in the play like he did in the Bucks series. That brother was non-existent out there last year against the Bucks, or the year before last at least. He was
Yeah,
non-existent in that playoff series.
yeah. No, I was like I said, I don't want to say disappointed.
And he a wild card player. Some days he might hit 9 threes, other days he might hit 0 threes.
Facts. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just so frustrating to see him because the man's so damn.
He's more inconsistent than Anthony Davis was in these playoffs, and that's saying a lot.
Wow.
I might give you that. I gotta look back at it to confirm it though. That's tough. But nah. All right. How about a player like Spider Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry, I can't call this man Spider because personally I feel like he's overrated. Yep, I went there. I went there. I feel like he's overrated. When y'all talking about Donovan Mitchell, I feel like people look at him as the star, the guy to get you over the hump. And I forgot which one of y'all said this, but y'all said that they're gonna be some teams gonna be in the same situation as Donovan Mitchell. Oh, you said about Dame, where they're gonna be like the same situation. You lose in the first round essentially. So if your vantage point of Donovan Mitchell is he's going to be the guy, like I differ with that Dame and Donovan situation, but I agree that Donovan is probably going to be capped at that one, maybe two round. I don't think he's going to be the guy to get you over the hump though. But I don't know. That's why I say he's overrated. Ira.
I highly disagree with that statement. I think Donovan Mitchell is properly rated in the NBA. Has a
So
between
you
top
view him as
five.
a championship caliber guy.
You can win a championship with Don. I don't know about has a number one option, but
That's what I'm talking as a number one option. Not
you didn't say
anybody.
that.
You
You
move
didn't say
someone
that.
on the
You
team.
didn't say that. You
I
didn't say
said as the guy. I
that.
said as the guy. I said as
Oh,
the
okay.
guy.
All right. All right. Well, in that case, I mean, it's more to see. I guess we have to see what goes on because the reason they lost in that series was not because of Donovan Mitchell's play. It was because of the fact that they had no offense outside of Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was
Hey, yo. Okay. So
Darius Garland, and
what?
Donovan Mitchell were the only two guys that were somewhat consistent on the offensive end for them at all. Karis LeVert, he showed up a little bit in that series, but essentially they didn't have much offensive firepower. Cleveland was a top 10 offense in the NBA last year. In the postseason, they were chronically below the numbers that they put up, like a few points, like 5, 6, 7 points below than what they put up in the playoffs. Like they were chronically worse than what they were. Shooting wise, everything offensively that Cleveland did in the regular season was worse than what it did in the postseason. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen were getting dominated by Mitchell Robinson. Like what? Mitchell Robinson was like an All NBA player the way he was grabbing rebounds over them boys. He was killing them. He was killing them. Cleveland didn't lose because of Donovan Mitchell, and also Donovan Mitchell elevated Cleveland from playing team to automatic playoff team. They were fourth. They were fourth this year. They were fourth automatic playoff team. So he's definitely valuable. I don't think he's overrated. I'm not gonna say you're gonna win a championship when he was the number one guy, but he's properly rated in the NBA. So overrated is a stretch. I don't think he's overrated by any means necessary. It's just you got to put more around him. Donovan Mitchell's gonna be. He can give you 50 any night. He's a very gifted scorer. But in terms of I would say being a 2010 guy or something like that, you're not gonna get the playmaking out of Mitchell like you would get like Dame, or you wouldn't get the defensive capabilities out of him as much. But as a competitor, Donovan Mitchell can be your number one option. He can definitely be. It's just his team got to provide him more than what they did in that first round of the playoffs last year. Besides them two names I named.
I don't know, bro. As a 6'1" guard that's pegged to be the guy, he's a shooting guard more so than a point guard. I don't really like it, but I don't know, man. Like I like I said, for me, he's overrated. Kenny, do you feel the same way or not?
I mean, I would say he's overrated. Like he's a star in the NBA. People know who he is. He's respected. I think what I mean, even those finals, I think every time people are a year away, like those playoff appearances with him and what's his name on Denver a couple years ago. Like they were going
I mean,
back
the
and
series where he went up 3-1 and lost.
yeah, they was going back and forth. You know what I mean? Like he's putting up 50-point games in the playoffs. He was carrying his team. I mean, who's his second best teammate? It was Rudy Gobert.
They
What
didn't
I
lose
mean? Like,
because they didn't lose that series because of him.
yeah,
Again, back to the Cleveland thing. Nobody was getting buckets for real, outside of Donovan Mitchell.
yeah. And on top of that,
Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Karis LeVert. I'll give you Evan snipped a little bit,
yeah,
but like he also
Karis
worked back
LeVert,
too.
Karis LeVert did not do was Karis don't even start. He don't even start for the team, and he was more of a force offensive than him. He comes off the bench. If your
yeah,
bench player is producing more than your starters,
it's a
that's
problem.
that's a scary thing. Like
Problem.
goodness, and he
And
won a 6 man. He was like the eighth man or something. He wasn't even six.
Karis, Karis be coming off a little. Karis comes off.
Karis is nice though. Like he a bucket.
He's nice.
Karis comes off as their sixth man, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
Okay.
it's him then Akuro. It's him then
Oh,
Akuro.
I thought Akuro came before him.
I personally go Karis then Akuro.
But either way, when your bench players outperforming your starters, you ain't winning no championship like that to start. I'm sorry.
But like when you're a starter, also if you're talking about offensively, Jared Allen is not really the
You need
juggernaut
to trade him.
player, right? Evan Mobley, he's young. This is his first playoff appearance, so like you got to give him time to adjust.
So I did how?
So I think so. Let me ask you guys this: do y'all expect them to get further than the first round next season?
for sure, for sure.
Okay, so if he doesn't, so if they don't get past the first round, can we say Donovan Mitchell?
Again,
Maybe because I mean, I don't know because if we have Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Jared Allen give you a little something, and then Karis LeVert repeating with this 15. Is that I feel like that's three guys now that's helping you out, Donovan. You can't get over the hump.
I mean, it all again, like I told you in the football thing, it all depends on how things transpire. We can't, as a question, like the numbers could say one thing and then they go out there and they shoot 0 for 10, and then we looking at, oh wow, dang, they was having this. He could pull Darius Garland go up there and pull a Dennis Schroeder on us, perform all the time, and then when
I'm saying they produce.
Then when the lights get the brightest, goose egg or something like that, it can go terrible. It can go immediate left. But my question to you is, if you know that Darius Garland and Evan Mobley in their first playoff series, like most of the Cleveland team was this first round, how did you come to the conclusion that Donovan Mitchell is overrated when you know those guys were young? Those two can't exist in the same room. That don't make sense. You can't have young guys and say, okay, all right, this is why they didn't perform their first playoff series, but then you're gonna call their star player overrated because he couldn't get the young guys to.
Well, I've always felt Donovan Mitchell's overrated because again, if you're begging him to be the guy to get you over the hump, I see him as that. Like maybe a solid second option, cool, possibly,
Rudy
third
Gobert.
option, that'd be best. Like, but as the guy, like
Long can't be no third option, bro. The way that man get buckets, he not a third option.
Rudy Gobert really hurt your opinion of Donovan Mitchell, I feel.
No, I think it was Donovan Mitchell hurt my opinion of Donovan Mitchell. Again, he's a combo guard at best, but really a two guard at 6'1". Who
What does guy got to do?
hold on, who isn't overly prone to playing defense? Like, this is the first time where he said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and actually put some effort towards it. And I don't think I'm gonna see that consistently. Like, to me, I'm Mitchell as that guy who's gonna do all the things I need my star guy to do.
Dame's a lackluster defender, not moving the needle with that one.
I'm not moving it. Dame's also my point guard, and Dame actually plays enough defense, especially with his offensive potency. Because last time I checked, Donovan Mitchell went to the conference finals when?
You made that brother sit up in the camera because you said that right there. Bro said Damian Lillard. Okay.
That ain't true. That ain't true.
He's not a sufficient enough defender for his offensive potency that he brings.
He guarded Russell Westbrook one time, and we made him seem like he.
Did I say he's an elite defender, or did I say he's good enough mixed with the?
You found me a clip of Damian playing. You found me a clip of Damian playing defense, and I'll walk away. I'll give it up. I'll give it up.
Okay. I feel like you're not catching what I'm saying, but all right, cool. Long story short, Donovan Mitchell's not on the same level as Damian Lillard.
That's fair.
Like, so if Dame slips on defense for me, it's okay because of the offense that he brings.
Donovan put up 50. What? He put up 35 in the first game of the play? What?
All right, Ira. Okay. All right. Where were we? Oh, I wanted to ask y'all about these Pistons team real quick. What do y'all hope to see from the Pistons just from this next season? They could make the playoffs. That is a possibility. Maybe a little play-in like OKC. Like, what's your hope for the Pistons, Kenny?
I was just trying to figure out why we talking about the Pistons in general.
Thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you.
What?
Jeez, bro. Like, what we gonna say?
Right? You know what I mean? Like, I gotta see. That's ain't nobody.
They were 22 games last year, dog. You know what they need?
Hey, Detroit, listen, when y'all hear this, do not think that came from me. That was from them. I respect y'all. Like, I think y'all are a good young team.
They won 22 games last year.
But you're also talking like they didn't lose Cade Cunningham the majority of that season, who is supposed to be their star. So then you got Jaden, and then you also brought in James Wiseman. You drafted Jaden Ivey. So he's a year older. Like, they might be producing pretty well. Not to mention they got one of the Thompson twins too. Like, this is a team that I think people really should start looking out for. Because again, you got
3 years from now.
Wait,
no. You have players right now that can actually contribute. Bogdan can contribute. He's giving you 20. You also got Joe Harris, who's a sharpshooter. Brother shoots 40.
Joe Harris.
Who?
Joe Harris.
You're acting like you don't need shooting on a team.
I ain't never heard anybody use
the Nets when he was on the Nets. When he was on the Nets, people were talking about Joe Harris like he was that guy. Stop it, Ira.
You talking about the Pistons?
He was nice on the Nets.
Thank you. He was nice on the Nets, Ira.
Stop it. He had KD. He had Kyrie. He was nice on the Nets.
Not
and these are two vets mixed with the young talent that they have, where they actually can make something shake. Like,
what veteran leadership does Joe Harris bring to a team? Where has he ever been seen as a veteran? What is he gonna tell them?
What do you mean? He's an NBA professional who's played for some years.
All right.
It's crazy y'all didn't like the Pistons take. It's crazy y'all didn't like the Pistons one. So I'm halfway nervous. I'm halfway nervous to ask.
To answer your question, what we expect out of the Pistons this year is to
really nothing.
win more than 22 games. That's it.
I thought expectations were nothing after the way y'all were talking. All right, I'm nervous to ask about these damn Pacers. Like, is that all right? Can I ask about the Pacers? Is that anybody want to talk about the Pacers today?
Bro, you talking about 13 teams in the Eastern Conference right now, dog. What do you want us to say about them, bro? Like, when
are they gonna be on national TV? That's the first question. How many national TV games they got?
That's tough. We still on Detroit right now? Because
Less
damn,
than 5. Oh,
like it's
either.
a difference if you're talking about
either.
teams. It's a difference if
Hold
you're
on,
talking about teams.
let's not slight Halliburton now. Let's not
I'm
slight.
not
Let's
slighting
not
He
him.
got a
Halliburton.
bag. We happy for him. Now move on.
Halliburton.
He got a bag.
They were in the playoff race early on last season too before he went down.
So with the Raptors. Next question, man. What are we talking about here?
That
Bro?
is wild. Okay,
What are we talking about here?
okay,
Man?
all right. How about this? Y'all just since y'all don't want to talk about, just answer me for this. Should they trade Miles Turner? Yes or no?
No, well, because they signed him now, so that's out the question. Shoot, they signed him. All the trade rumors
Trade him.
going about him, that got eliminated when he signed that 3-year extension.
You can trade that. You can trade that boy. Bring in DeAndre Ayton. That's all I'm saying.
DeAndre Ayton over Miles Turner a year. Insane. Goodness.
Okay. I mean, one's 27, one's 22, 23 right now. Timing wise, fits
After
with
what you saw
Halliburton,
DeAndre
and it
Ayton
also fits with the play style because you can actually go a lot more pick and roll with him. I
What
understand.
do you mean? Miles Turner shoots the three way better than DeAndre Ayton.
I said pick and roll. Where'd you get?
Yeah, DeAndre is a really good pick and pop player. That I'll say for sure. Like
Miles Turner can be the same thing.
He's not as mobile as I'm not trying to say Miles Turner's bad. I'm talking about from a timing perspective.
in
If
an
the Pacers said they wanted to make that trade, I
Miles
would
Turner
get
is
that.
just as good as an athlete as DeAndre Ayton is.
I think DeAndre is.
It's a little more. It's a little more fluidity.
DeAndre is a lot more finesse. I think.
Yeah, Aiden's a little more fluid than Turner, but I don't think that's grounds for saying we're gonna throw Aiden over Turner. It's a difference if the fluidity led to DeAndre Ayton averaging 4 or 5 more points than Miles Turner.
I didn't say anything about Ayton is better than Turner.
No,
I
no,
say
no.
if you want
You
to
miss.
get,
You,
no. I'm listening. I'm hearing you, but talking about from a fit perspective, I actually see Ayton shooting the ball a little bit better. So when you're talking about Turner, when you're talking about Turner in the 3-ball now, I expect Ayton to actually have that later on in his development. Then from a mobile perspective, I think Ayton's a little bit more mobile than Turner. Like
mobile. That's why you trade for guys because they're mobile.
I mean,
If that's the case, if that's the case,
basketball is about mobility, but also Ayton brings 20, almost 20 and 10 to my team.
Bring no defense.
I can pair him with Halliburton, who gives him an extra
no defense
off the pick and roll. No defense.
No defense.
Okay. Agree to disagree on that one, but I
agree to disagree. That's crazy. Did you not? Did you watch him in these playoffs? Did you? Yeah. I know I did because he ain't do nothing defensively. He was.
Is he an elite defender? No, like not right now. Can he be? I actually do think
not at all. Not what we just saw. No, sir.
All right, you have to give this man time. Just know, and we'll move to the next one. Bigs take about 5 years to develop, and he's 4 to 5 years in.
Bro, he just let a man get 37, 16, and 16 on his head with no.
You talking about Jokic, right? We talking about Nikola Jokic? I got you. Let's move on.
37, 16, and 16. That man averaged 35-point triple-double on somebody's head, and you want to talk about defense? Bro didn't even try. He gave up. He saw Jokic and say, yeah, I quit.
Okay. Like I said, you're talking about Nikola Jokic. Let's move on. To the Southeast Division, real quick, we got the Atlanta Hawks. I just want to add, since I know y'all a little trepidation about some of these teams. I'm going to speed through these. For the Hawks, do y'all expect them to take a decline post this John Collins trade?
No, man. I think it's the second year with Trey and DeJounte, and I think they're eventually gonna kind of figure that out, get their rhythm, and take a step up. John Collins is obviously a good athletic guy, defender, explosive, but I don't see him as a difference maker. I think the maturity between those guys and their rhythm is way important than anything with John Collins. So,
okay, all right. What was
the question? I missed the question. What was it again?
John Collins, he's still stuck on the Turner end.
No. Somebody, my roommate.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say. Now, will the Hawks make a decline after this John Collins trade? Do you expect?
Absolutely, 100%. They took Trae Young's laughter away. So now what?
I mean, but you still got Clint Capella, and then you also got Onyeka Okongwu as well on that team too. So,
I mean, I don't know what's I can't really speak on Atlanta honestly. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know what they got going over there. That's one of the most dysfunctional organizations in all of the NBA right now. Like they talking about trading Trae Young. So to expect anything,
listen. I wholeheartedly support that, right? Because he would come to my Lakers. Talk to me.
I don't want Trae Young on the Lakers. He played worse defense than Damian Lillard does. Sure.
Listen, I am going to live through Trae Young as he's on my Lakers because my name is Trae as well. So all I'm saying is when he get in the bucket, ladies and gentlemen, just know I'm gonna be cheering for that man.
If this wasn't recorded, I'd have a term to describe you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let it fly. Let it fly. I don't care.
That is what we define as an eater, sir. Let's cut that out.
An eater? My yes. boy, one. I'm not actually vicariously trying to like live through Trae Young, but no, I will say it would be kind of cool to see Trae on come across Trae. I'll be like, hey, I'm in that line. Let's go. They call it.
That's the definition of an eater right there. That's it's not okay. That's like me seeing an hour on the thing. Oh yeah, bro, I'm out there and I'm not even playing. Come on, dog. Be for real.
He gonna get my support. That's all I'm saying, dog. That's all I'm saying. But all right, so that's cool though. You know, a decline by expectation by Ira, and then not a decline by Kenny. I gotta say, man, I'm kind of almost like you, Ira. I don't know what they're gonna do yet, but it you know, yeah, I'm on the fence. I can't call it right now. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's a little dysfunction. I don't like the DeJounte Murray and Trae Young pairing, but at the same time, I do. It's just it makes no sense. I can't ultimately describe it. It's wild.
Gave us a lot of teams that are mid, man. We got any good teams in this? Because next you about to ask about the Charlotte Hornets, right?
No, I'm not actually. I'm about to ask about the Wizards. Shit. But this one actually be interesting. Do y'all believe in Jordan Poole becoming an actual leader?
I thought he's about to say all NBA for Jordan Poole. I was about to walk.
Come on now. Come on now. Like, look. There's certain questions you can't really. That's way too. That's way too.
You said Mikal Bridges. So
all NBA, and I said based on the 65 game threshold, you're gonna kick some brothers off, so he easily gets to slide into that roster. I gave you a solid justification. There is no solid justification for Jordan Poole.
And why not exactly? Go ahead. Tell me why we should.
Well, I'm asking the leadership questions first.
He's not going to be a leader. That's question number one. He's not going to be a leader of that team. That's easy.
You say he is or isn't?
Look at the thing. Look at the way that happens on. Look, just tell me now. What did he do in Golden State last year that defined him as a leader at any point? He wasn't listening to Steph. He definitely want to talk to Draymond, of course.
But you also study under Steph and Draymond and Clay, and now that you got your own team, you get to do your own thing.
Look at Jordan Poole's IQ on a basketball court. What is he leading? He shoots worse shots. He shoots the worst shots ever. Like, terrible shots. Like
you learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes and you grow. And he's also a champion too. So I mean, nobody on the Wizards can say that. So you might have to like leverage his experience, which isn't
even that important.
I need a question: is Kuzma a leader?
No.
If he's a leader, then Jordan Poole's a leader.
What's the difference?
Jordan Poole leader than Kyle Kuzma.
I said, can he become a leader? This is his first year with the Poole, he might be able to turn it around. Kuz has already been on that squad before. Like,
if you think Jordan Poole can be a leader, then Kyle Kuzma can be a leader too.
He can be a leader on that team, but I don't know if he can be a leader. Like, I wouldn't peg Kuz to be
the only thing Jordan Poole.
Kind of sort of see Jordan Poole being a leader from this standpoint. At least I can say Buddy is kind of strong. Because when you think about it, you have the mental fortitude to get decked like that. It gets shown, and you sit up there and no. Like, I mean, he played. He was rather professional over the whole career, over the whole season. I can say maybe you can try to learn from that. Like,
if he's strong, why is he not on the Warriors? Why did they pick Draymond, an old ass player, over Jordan Poole?
I think Draymond actually brings more to that.
You don't give someone a bag and then you expect to trade him 8 months later.
Speak the facts.
You know what I mean?
I hear that too.
You can't go to state.
Speak the facts.
But you also because so ultimately it's who benefits Steph more, and Draymond does that, not Jordan Poole. Like I can replace Jordan Poole before I can replace Draymond Green.
With who?
What do you mean with who? I can get Jordan Clarkson respectfully to do similar shit. Like, what are we talking about? Don't do that.
Actually, I agree with that. Jordan Clarkson not going to the Warriors.
That's
like for me, Jordan Poole is either a starting point guard or a sixth man.
The question was Jordan Poole a leader. I feel like the only thing gonna be a leader for the Wizards is in the DC nightlife. That is probably as big as we're gonna get right there. So like, I'm not, I'm not trusting him leading my organization anywhere.
That's tough. All right, I guess that's crazy. I mean, I get it too though, because like I have heard people saying he's going to be like in Rose Ball, like how John Wall was and stuff like that. So
No, John Wall led though. He led in the court. Jordan Poole leading off the court.
Ooh.
I think Jordan Poole has a chance to be viewed as a leader again.
He
But
got
he got to
one
earn it
ring
though.
still.
He got to show it right now. I don't think that stock is kind
He
of.
got to show a game 1 October whenever they play.
No, he got to show that he got to show that in training camp. What you mean? You don't just randomly become a leader overnight. Like you got to do that shit.
I mean, he had his first start in these interviews, and what he said, all they did is they got memes of this nigga just looking sad as shit. You know, if we being honest, so it's like if you gonna be a leader, that was day one. He could have came, he could have had, you know, fresh fade. He could have had the beard looking good with the suit.
He might be just hooping. He might just be working out and hooping. Can you think about it? He said, "Forget them haircuts." Kevin Durant never used a brush and said, "I'm about that life."
Bro, Kenny is right. That brother is distraught, man. Look at him. That boy looks so sad in the team photos. He was like,
exactly.
You know the Tyrese meme. Congratulate. That's how he felt. That's how he felt when he got traded. That's how he felt.
So Jordan, it sounds like you got to prove some folk wrong if you want to be a leader, because you don't have too many people on your bandwagon, champ. I'm sorry.
If you his teammate and you saw them distraught photos, are you thinking, yo, let me call my guy? I can't wait to talk to you, man. Like, yo,
be like, yo, dead ass. What's the status? Like, how you feeling, bro? I like transparency. Like,
sounds like that sounds easy.
But you're not gonna be motivated. The way he was looking, you ain't excited like, yo, he's a dog, he's ready to go get it. This you be like,
that depends on what he's saying.
Is this Jordan?
Hey, I got told about this last minute. My barber on vacation. I couldn't get my cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he give me a solid,
he's in DC.
Listen, I don't know about you, but you can't just go out here trusting barbers all willy nilly. Like, my barber just left, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of tough. Like, it's a little tough. So
he's Jordan Poole, bro. He can find somebody nice to cut his hair.
Exactly, but he's also Jordan Poole. So if you mess up your hairline, it's gonna be on a picture, and somebody gonna see it. Like, if we mess up our hairline,
bro, hey,
it's time to grow it back.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it. Bro caught a right hand hook, and the whole world saw it. I think a bad hairline is the least of his problems.
I mean, I hear that too. I get
bro got slumped nationally.
I get you. All right. Well, look, I got one team that I think y'all might want to hear about, right?
The Miami
Heat. The Miami Heat.
Thank you. Finally.
You know what I mean? But what's the results of this team if they don't have a big trade? And I'm talking about this season and next season too, kind of going forward, mentality wise, because they got to the finals last year, but I mean, there's no guarantee you get back.
What do you mean by mentality wise?
Well, Jimmy's getting a little older. You need to start finding some replacements. Like, if they don't make a trade, can we start talking about retooling or trading away players? Or
I mean, Miami's gonna compete night in and night out basis. There's no question about their mentality. They're always gonna be a competitive team. Like, even when times look grim, they're gonna compete. That's just something Heat players do. That's just the bottom line of it. I mean, retooling the roster. I mean, yeah, it could be if they don't get Damian Lillard, that could be possibly a discussion. Jimmy's 34, so I mean, he's an aging superstar. I guess you.
I'm saying, I have him at that 9th, 10th spot in that top 10, but that age is the only reason why he's a fringe one for me.
And LeBron is 38, dog, so you can't.
Yeah, but no. But LeBron is a freak of nature athlete. Jimmy, not that.
Jimmy just dropped 56. Jimmy dropped 50. Jimmy dropped 56. Jimmy dropped 56 in the playoff game, so you can't just say that. Like,
no. I'm saying Bron's a freak of nature athlete, so it's a little bit different. Like, I keep Jimmy in the top 10 because of what he produced. Also, on top of that, that's MJ's son, so I got to do that respectfully. But no, that is Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan. I don't know why you keep saying. I don't know why you looking like that, Ira. That is his son. Like that. I look at the side by side pictures. I promise you, they resemble. And then Anthony Edwards is somehow related too. I don't know how. I
You
just
gotta get a
know.
hobby, man. You gotta get a hobby, bro. You're in other people's lives too much. Too much.
I
You
think.
worse than Twitter. You worse than Twitter on YouTube relationships. Cut it out.
Yeah,
Cut it
yeah.
out.
But I think
You looking at other portrait photos of other
It's on
gentlemen.
Google. It's on Google. I promise you.
The fact that you
What
looked that up scares me.
were you about to say, Kenny?
no, I think at the end of the day, bro, like the Heat, they've maxed out on in terms of with the current roster. Like you can't rely on Jimmy Butler performing like Michael Jordan. You know what I
And
mean? Like the way he was operating and getting buckets, and not even from just like a stats, but just from like being a dog on the court. Like he gassed out against the Lakers in the finals, and they just didn't have enough going against a better team than the Nuggets. Like the Heat, that whether it's Dame, they got to acquire somebody. Like you can't have a player who's top 30 during the regular season, but becomes top 10, top 5 during the playoffs, and a bunch of scrubs. You know what I mean? Or role players. I won't call them scrubs, but a bunch of role players,
Yeah, that was
elite
yeah.
guys. You know what I mean? Like that's just not realistic. That's not how you win chips, especially basketball. Basketball is a team game, but compared to more than
yeah,
any other
Jimmy
sport,
got
it's an individual sport. You know what I mean? Like you got to have stars in the league to go anywhere.
that is one thing I agree on. Jimmy's not Braun. Jimmy just can't coast in the regular season and turn on in the playoffs. He don't turn on to the same magnitude as LeBron does. So
Ah, I don't know about that.
don't
I
even
don't know.
try.
No, 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 no.
Don't even try it.
Only thing I'm saying is from like a dominant standpoint, physically, Braun has that just because of like the physical build. But I will say there have been moments, bro, where I'm like, hey, dog, this brother Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan, like when he played like Jimmy Butler, I hear you, but when he played like Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan, hey, dog, I don't know sometimes. Like I gotta really think
See,
about it. Like
Kenny, let me tell you something, man. Look, he don't like LeBron because they say he a top 5 Laker, and he about to get his jersey
I'm
retired,
gonna give you
all
some.
that good stuff.
He
So
knows
anything he
he
say
knows my
about LeBron
trepidation about
James,
Braun.
take it with a
He
grain
knows
of
my
salt.
history with
All
Braun.
right,
I know. Yeah,
He knows
he
my
Braun hater.
history with Braun before you do.
yes,
Like but it's not. But I'm telling
no.
you, Braun's the better player. But when Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan steps up, I don't know sometimes.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't think Braun ever steps on the court and is like, "Damn, I'm scared of Jimmy Butler today," or Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan or whoever. Like I just don't think. Not
I,
even on Braun's worst day. You know what I mean? Like
On Bron's worst day, he got
I'm
40
not talking
shooting
about battle. I'm not
6
talking
from
about
three.
battling. I'm saying when I've seen Jimmy go up against whomever, whether it's Braun, KD, whomever, and he's playing like Jimmy Jeffrey Jordan. And when I've seen Braun go at it, sometimes I'd be like, oh, that Jimmy do got Jimmy
no, because
he might be able to take it.
Delusional. You're delusional.
yeah.
Delusional.
I,
And then again, it's like Braun, what that motherfucker went to 8 or 9 straight finals, bro. Like man was putting up 42, 11, and
You don't
8,
gotta
and we
explain.
was taking it
You
for
don't got
granted.
to, man.
Like
This man is lost. This
you know
man
what I
is
mean?
lost. This man is lost.
okay.
Lost, I tell you. That's going in the group chat right there. Who's better, playoff Jimmy or playoff Bron? Ooh, that's gonna start a fire.
25 points per game for 19 seasons in a row, bro.
What
Like
part of I guess maybe let me rephrase it like
we
this.
just we just take Braun for granted. That's what it is.
When I said Braun's the better player,
No, we know that.
sometimes when Jimmy
There
plays,
is no
like Jimmy,
sometimes. There
there
is
is
no
some there
sometimes.
is some yes,
No,
there
it's
are some.
not.
All right, well tell you what, we'll agree to disagree on that one then. Um
Oh, this man is crazy, bro. I tell you.
Matt, I got two more and then we wrap it up. Magic and Hornets.
Skip him.
That's wild. That is
Skip him. What
wild.
we gonna say
What?
about him, bro? Two teams that won what the Hornets,
That
they
is
was out. They
crazy.
didn't have the Hornets didn't have LaMelo Ball, so we can't. They gotta have LaMelo Ball for another year
Well,
before.
I don't know if you've noticed, but we're not necessarily talking about the teams as a whole. We've been talking about specific player, maybe a couple of players sprinkled in.
Who was on the team besides LaMelo Ball that we remotely cared about in Charlotte?
Well, for the Hornets, Miles Bridges. Like, what's your expectations of him? Because before when we last saw him, he was giving us like 20 plus,
To
looking kind
not to not to not mess up the bag again. That's what I expect him not. Don't mess up the bag up again.
I seen him in Vegas too.
Yeah,
of.
stay away. Stay away from any.
But like on the court though, Ira, I need a little bit more of a less generic answer. Like on the
On
court,
the court, I mean, it's nothing to expect out of him to just go back and do what he was doing. I guess that's pretty much it.
It's a year off though, and I don't necessarily think he was out there training the whole time.
People come back from missing time all the time. He wasn't hurt. He just missed because he chose to be an idiot. That's pretty much it.
Okay, all right. So there's no real expectations on you for him.
I don't
Because
know.
I'm also thinking too, it's contract season. You do want to get paid, and if you were just given 20 plus, there might be a little pressure on you. Because now going forward, how are people going to be looking at
He
you?
wasn't given 20 plus. They picked him as qualified.
He was given 20 plus a
Oh, you
game.
talking about points? They talking
Points.
about money.
Oh no
I
points.
was like, they just accepted this qualifying offer. He ain't.
Yeah, so I'm talking about going forward. Kenny, what's your thoughts again?
I mean, I think
Like if you his agent, work me a deal for him. He gave you about 18 this upcoming season, right? Gives you about 18, 6-3, respectable defense, shot about 37 from the three, 49 from the field, and like 78 from the free throw line. What you feel like we can work with?
yeah, I mean he's gonna get something, right? Like I think a player who's comparable until he really showed it in the playoffs um was what's his name? Damn, I'm blanking. What's to do with the AG off of Denver?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron
Yeah,
Gordon, yeah.
Gordon. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Gordon was kind of like a whatever guy until this season. He showed up in the finals. Before that, like, yeah, he probably gonna get his 20, 25 to 30. You know what I mean? But he's not a difference maker on the team. At best, he's a number three on
That's
any
crazy.
specific
A
team.
three option is not a difference maker.
Exactly. So he's a number three. If he's a number two,
Wait, time out. What do you mean?
I don't know about that one, Kenny. That's tough.
Three
We
option is
saying
different.
Chris Bosh ain't a difference maker then.
Who said
Lamar Odom ain't a difference maker then.
no, I mean I'm just saying. So who's my bad? Who's the number two on Charlotte right now? Then
It might be Miles Bridges.
that's what I'm saying. So I said number three. So basically, he's irrelevant. You know what I mean? The Hornets are irrelevant. You know, the only thing that could have happened for them if they would have got Wemby, that didn't happen. So we really don't need to be talking about them.
Man,
That's all right. All
best
I'm
thing
gonna
that
say is
best
this.
thing that happened to them so far is Michael Jordan 719.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna say this about Miles. I think he's the type of player whereas he goes to a team like the Grizzlies, they're scary as hell. So if he plays really well, I'd expect someone like the Grizzlies to try to poach him. Because he also
Grizzlies
fit with that
have
Hornets team.
Desmond Bain and Roddy. They don't need Miles Bridges.
You wouldn't want him as a small forward. He's
Roddy's
6'7".
dropping 30 in summer league games. I think we'll be fine without.
Oh, he was doing that in summer league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, so he's definitely gonna be doing that in the regular season against NBA talent who doesn't play in the summer league. I got you. All right, bet. So Roddy White, I got you. I'm holding on to Roddy. He could be cool.
I'm not
But
saying.
for like 2 seasons, if you're telling me I can bring on Miles Bridges and have Roddy,
I'm not saying 20 a game, but like Miles Bridges averaging 20 a game because he's catching lobs from Melo Ball for half the point. So it's not like Miles Bridges out there calling ISO and getting a bucket on people.
Hold on.
He's like Aaron Gordon. Kenny Wright. He's like Aaron Gordon. Like he only getting 20 because that's where he's at. He's getting 20 because who else is going to score besides Melo on the Hornets? Terry Rozier. That's cool, but anybody else? No.
I don't think that's accurate there, champ. Like Miles is actually more of a complete player than you trying to let on right now. I don't think he's just a dunker. He's not just catching lobs. Like he catches lobs. That's not all he does. He was
He
showcasing
spot up shots and catches lobs.
he was
That's
showcasing
not
the ability to actually score on his own without a point guard necessarily needing to facilitate.
sound like Aaron Gordon.
And you also have a point guard in Ja Morant who can facilitate himself.
We were talking about the Hornets right now.
No. I'm saying though, if he went to that type of team, that lob threat would still be there. Like, so I don't know why that's even a worry if he were like if he's a lob threat and he can score effectively.
I don't need a lob threat in Memphis. Ja Morant is my.
He's not just a lob threat though. But I mean, all right, I got you. So then, I guess it's nice to end this off on this. What do y'all need for Paolo to do next season in order to be an NBA All-Star, if that's possible?
He's not gonna be an All-Star. Not whatever he does, because the match are gonna win enough games for him to even be considered an All-Star.
Okay, so you don't think he's going to be an all-star? I think he can get some fan votes a little bit, plus his
Man, it
production.
depends.
All
It
right.
depends. It depends what Anthony Black does. I mean, they don't. I don't know what they got going on at point guard in Orlando, but they got a lot of things going wrong and nothing going right. So
I don't think, I don't. Why do you say Anthony Black? Because
because he's the fourth point guard they got in the mix. They got Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Markel Fultz, and now Anthony Black. They have 4 point guards on that roster, and they don't know who they starting.
but what does it have to do with Paolo? I guess, like,
It
because
has a lot to do with Paolo because if he's not winning games, he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to be an all star.
um,
All stars are predicated on winning games more than you think. If you're not winning games,
not all the time though. Not all the
name an
time.
all star that has been
Y'all mean
12th or lower.
that was 12th or lower? I'd have to look and see what Yao was, like what the Rockets were rated that them years. But I don't remember them being overly high like that too.
They won 12.
And he was also like an all-star starter his first year. I'm just saying, like there are possibilities where Paolo's playing well, the team's losing. I don't know what to tell you. Like, but everybody's gonna be clinging to Paolo, especially if he gets these highlights and stuff. Oh, everybody's gonna be wanting to see Paolo. So I mean, all stars, it's not it's not just production and that's it. You got fan voting. So I can't see why he can't make an all-star nod. But you say nah. So Kenny, what do you need to see from Paolo to
I
make
mean,
an team if you think he can?
I think he can. The only thing with the Magic is right. They've had lottery picks forever, and
Yeah.
it's still at the same spot. But he's clearly a lottery pick that's hit for them, that has that star potential. He's that big wing, right? He could get buckets, he could drive, he could slash. He's got an exciting play, right? Right. Right now he looks like a bigger, much more physical Zach LaVine. I think if they win, if they're competitive, right? If they're around that 7-8 spot going into the All Star break,
Mhm.
he's clearly going to be their best player. I think he's got a shot coming off the bench. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you're in the seventh, eighth spot as the Magic, which actually don't sleep on that as being a far-fetched idea
That's
too.
probably the most realistic thing you said all day.
That is crazy. That is so wild. All right, but not like that could be a possibility. So I could see the brother man in the All Stars. It is again not just because he come from good stock. You know what I'm saying? It's not because
Because
he came from my boys. You know what I mean? We got to bring it out sometime. One time for the one time. He ain't win me one, but should have actually. No, actually, now I think about it, yeah, that was on Coach K's last year. No, let's not bring that up too much. But now, fellas, I greatly appreciate this. We went a little bit over the time. We had some technical difficulties. But I think overall it was a good conversation. Did y'all have anything you wanted to say before we close up shop?
Let's not talk about the losers next time. Let's just keep.
Bro, Paolo is not a loser, okay? Like I talked about specific players, not the whole team. Because we went over the teams, we would not have gotten past.
I ain't gonna lie, Detroit. That should never happen again.
Ever.
What?
If you get up
Same
here,
with, same with Indiana. Like
if you
we
get up
should,
here and we gotta talk about the
We
Spurs
can't give
next
no
time,
love. I'm trying to give love to all the teams.
son, if we
I
gotta talk
don't love
about the
Indy
Spurs,
like
if we
that.
gotta talk about the Spurs or the Rockets next, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start the walk away. Like what we gonna say? Win. That's the only expectation we got.
But it's not for those teams though. So again, the idea is literally just to say what,
Right.
like you know what I'm saying? Like it's for specific players, but we're also gonna talk about other players when we talk about that specific player. So for example, when we're talking about who do we talk about for the Embiid trade, we mentioned Harden, we mentioned a couple other players. Like so that was the whole premise behind it, just talking about like players. Because I agree, if we're talking about Detroit, best case, I see them as like a play-in team right now.
Oh, Lord, sheesh. Scared me again. I don't know what you was about to say.
What play-in
I was
teams
about
not
to say,
fair?
I was about to say top six for a second. I was about to walk away when you was like, oh Lord.
Oh my gosh, I'm still upset. Y'all don't believe Dame can't win no championship on that Raptors squad. That's wild. Gary off the bench.
You send that in the group chat right now. You'll
I
see.
got you. I got you. I got you. But now, fellas, like I said, I greatly appreciate this. And so we will definitely have y'all back on again. I'll take into consideration what you said, so I'll try to mix it up a little bit. Maybe I won't do the the East or the West. I'll just do 15 teams since y'all want to be divas about it. So We'll see
Well,
how.
you talk about the Pistons, fam. The defense.
Everybody gotta get love, bro. Like, come on now. You gotta rock with them Pistons, man. You gotta rock with them Pistons.
If the Lakers suck, I would expect nobody to ever talk about them.
We did suck, and I expected people to talk about us. No. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you all have a good one. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone about the show. Also, if you ever need of an agent, you can go talk to my man Kenny right here. He's one of the best agents in the game right here. If you ever want to watch some takes that you might not like, Ira has you covered on You're Not Gonna Like This. So I just want to give a little plugs right there for my boys. But like I said, I hope you all enjoy this one. Take care.
Appreciate y'all.
Shout out Brooklyn.
Shout out Brooklyn. All right, that's a bet.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.